All right, everybody. My name is Steve Scott, and we're going to be doing another video here, part 2 of our breakdowns. Again, breakdowns are breaking your opponent down from a stable to an unstable position. Think of these things kind of like throwing techniques, only when in ground fighting. And they really do work, and they're really the staples of what we certainly do here at Welcome Net. You'll see this in any type of good combat or grappling sport. We're doing them in gis tonight, but you can do all kinds of no-gi situations as well, just adapt them slightly. So we're going to hit about 9 or 10 tonight as well, so let's get right at it. The first one is, let's talk about the judo switch. So if you're the guy on the bottom, okay? So let's say Derrick's the guy on the bottom, Mike's on top of him. Key thing for Derrick to do here, see how his head is down? The worst place Derrick can be is flat on his face, flat on the mat, belly down. He's going to get beat up real bad by Mike. So he's got to get to a base, okay, and he's got his toes, okay, his knees are wide for a good base, hip low to the mat, and he pops his head out. If your head's in the middle, put your head in the middle again, Derrick, would you? If you're the poor guy on the bottom, get your head out. Get your head out of trouble, get your body out of trouble. So he starts to do this now. He's really pushing, he's using that head as kind of a lever. And he's really pushing with the right side of his ear on Mike's hip. And he's using that to wedge and control. So it's not just there as a piece of meat. It's actually, he's using that, as my old coach Renee Pomerell said, that's the way to use your head, son, okay? And here's the way we're going to do it. So here he is, he pops his head out. And the basic judo switch, there are 2 of them that we show. The first one, he gets his head out this right side. Derrick's going to quickly grab, but not reach with the hand. If he come out and do it wrong where you reach with the hand. If he reaches with his hand, Mike can sit through and go behind him, or sit through and even do an arm lock. So just sit through the walking your tongue. So you can sit through and catch him in an arm lock. So he doesn't reach through with his hand first. Derrick makes sure he gets his shoulder very close. His right shoulder's in Mike's gut. His head's on the hip. And look how he's basically choking Mike with a square grip or gable grip here. It's like he's choking his knee. Okay, his head's very tight there, okay? Now look how low he is. Now what he's going to do, he's going to pop out, do your way where you sit through first, and he's going to pop one leg, sit through, and come out. That's basic wrestling 101, but we've adapted to the kind of grappling we do, so it really does work. It's a very effective move. It's to get out from the bottom, okay? So it's a get out of trouble move, because now this puts Derrick on top, and he's going for a ride. He can start working a breakdown or something else. So fundamentally, this doesn't take Mike from a stable to an unstable position, but it really does too, in a way, because it gets Derrick out of trouble, and he's in a more stable position. He's controlling the position. Okay, so that's the first one where he does that one where he sits through. So do it one more time as you're sitting through the way you like to do it. You'll see more lightweights do this, where he sits through. And when he does that, he does what I call a judo sit-out or a half sit-out. He doesn't extend his leg real far. He just does it with his knee. Can you show that, emphasize that? So when he sits through, bam, see that's a short sit. He's on his hip. Now, his head is here, and he rounds that corner, and bam, he's going to get to a ride position. Okay. Now the other way that you'll see more heavyweights do it, the way I always prefer to do it myself personally, was to stay on the knees. Now, so notice Derrick's on the toes and knees, and he keeps his head round here, and he keeps going round behind Mike, and he just sands that corner, he gets round it, and he gets behind him. Okay? So do it again, but staying on the knees. You see more heavyweights do this, just because the body mass is bigger. And notice he's not taking big looping movements, he's short, choppy steps with his knees around the outside. Okay, one more time, and we'll go on to another. So it's a judo switch, staying on the knees. And you get to the outside. Okay. You see more heavyweights do that, but the lightweights can do it as well. Okay. Let's go to one of those, Mike. Over and under, and I'm going to have you then show it. When you got a guy down this time, I'm the top guy in this position, so I'm kind of jumping ship here a little bit. But what I'm going to do is an over and under, so quick. So turn your head. Right, bam, I'm like this. I may have got out of trouble, but here I am again. Okay, again, we're kind of jumping around subjects, but bear with me. I'm going to underhook here and overhook here. So let's say I'm going to come to the side, I'm going to underhook and catch. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I don't come across his body, because if I do, he can sit through and get out. So when I underhook, I'm going to underhook here, and I'll be on this side. From our other video, we were staying on the same side to control. So I'll come over here so you got a good view. So here I am, I underhook here, see, like this. and I control the shoulder. Nice hook. If he's got a gi, if he's not too slick, grab something. So I'm grabbing and wedging him tight. Now, that's the underhook. Now, the overhook is just a simple scoop. You take him over, and I roll him right over into a side position. Keisagatami, whatever you want to call it. So don't be straight, because if I'm straight, I'll come sideways, he can sit through and get out. So start on the same side, underhook, tight. Probably a good idea to grab it. Keep it out, that's good. Tight, trap that shoulder. Slide down here. See how I slide down here? Cup it and roll it.
You working out lately?
Yeah, more athletic than me.
Really? Underhook,
and he sits through right into a very quick breakdown. Great transition to the hole. Very effective. One of our good grapplers of all time, Chris Hekadon, stuck a lot of guys with this move, both judo and sambo, so he worked it quite well. Let's talk about if a guy's riding you like a wrestler, spiral ride, wrestler's ride, and he's got behind position, you're kind of in trouble. We're going to do the Peterson roll. Okay, so it's a pretty basic one, named after Ben Peterson, the Olympic wrestling champion. He pinned a lot of guys with this, I guess, in his career. And it was named after him. So can we have you guys ride? Now, what Derrick's going to do, Mike's got a good standard spiral ride, that's great stuff. What Derrick's going to do, he's going to grab with his arm, trap it tight. A lot of you probably know this already, okay? And what he's going to do is turn his head in and get his butt out a little bit. Now, we like to do it where we got this knee, we can kind of flick it up, kind of use it kind of as a springing action, help roll him over. So he's just going to roll him right over. Stay with him, come right on top. You notice he never let go of this arm. He's got that nice and tight. Now, he's got what you call in judo early Keisagatami, or reverse Keisagatami, shoulder scarf lock. But he might be in a sport like MMA, some other sport where the bottom guy could be kicking him, so we don't want that. Or you might want to just roll over on top of him. So what he's going to do, he's going to roll right over on top, Tate Shihogatami, vertical hold, or a mount position. You've got demo that whole thing.
And so it goes the other direction this time.
There you go. Thank you.
If you roll the other way too, then I can get ankle.
Catch that, roll, never let go of that hand, rolls, kicks him over, comes right over, right over on top. Okay? So how you finish is your choice, but for a lot of people, they finish in an Ura-Keisagatami. That's good, but I like to finish right over on top of the guy where I have a little more control over it, okay? Especially we do a lot of, not just judo here, and I want to make sure that I can control them better, so I get more contact. I can get a submission hold from there as well, from that, what do you call it, the kind of mount position. Okay. All right. Let's go to good old Soden roll. All right. So Soden roll named after Steve Soden, who did this quite well. He won a bunch of junior national titles with us for judo and sambo. He pinned a lot of guys with this move. He didn't invent it, but he just got really good at it, so we just named it after Steve Soden back in the 70s. So if Derrick's down on elbows and knees, and Mike is dominating him, okay, go from the top, very top right.
It's a head-to-head.
All right. Why don't you guys go sideways for her? Okay, now, what Derrick's going to do, if Mike starts to put his arms around, try to control, Derrick's going to get his head out, pop his head out, and as he does that, he's going to trap Mike's arm. Mike, grab around like you're grabbing like barrel rollers. Yeah. And he just hooks tight. Both arms, hooks very tight. Okay? Now, what he does is he pops his head through, he just rolls Mike. Right over on top of him. A beautiful ride position.
When you get stuck in that position, sit out.
You reverse positions, Mike, just turn around so yeah, Derrick can be. So watch it from your better angle here. Derrick gets out like that, he traps his arms. Now watch what he just catches the turn. He sits through, and he does it. He's a bit on his back there, turn the hip in. Yeah, there you go. You don't want to be laying on your back. A lot of wrestlers will end up with their back. That's not a strong position. You don't want to be there. If you're Derrick, you want to be sitting on your hip, turning into him. You can control him for a longer period of time.
That's more pressure.
Plus, you can go into an arm lock from that, bent arm lock from that position. There are a lot of things you can finish with. Okay. One more time on the Soden roll. By the way, everybody, we have Now, all these are separate videos on our YouTube site, so if you search our YouTube site, we got almost 600 videos, so watch them. Go ahead, big guy. Comes out, traps it. He ended up on the near side. You don't always have to go on the far side. You end up on the near side. But there you go. Sewed and rolled. Okay? All right. Hey, just as a thought, let's do a gut wrench from the top. That's always fun. All right. Now, this one, you're not on the bottom, you're on the top. This is a gut wrench. We call it a gut wrench for a reason. Sandy, I may need to move about here. What's going to happen is, if Mike's on the bottom, this is a nasty breakdown. Derrick's going to go ahead and he starts from a spiral ride, and he just locks his arms real tight, and around the gut. That's why I call it a gut wrench. Now, his head's going to go through this hole. Can you guys turn around here so you can? Yes, right there. Now watch. So Derrick's got the gut wrench. He's starting that. He locks in there. That's very tight. And he's making this very uncomfortable, everybody. Now his head's going to go through the middle here. That's the hole. And make sure when he does, he dives fast and he rolls Mike. And all the time he squeezes the heck out of Mike's gut. Right on top of him. Into Koshi Gatami, hip hold. Just a side position, but it's a very strong move. Back up again a little more so they got it.
Those guys are getting.
Come on back here. That same position. Hang your head towards. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, so watch it. See, gut wrench, nice and tight. Head to the hole. Go right over the top. Now, Derrick's on top. He's winning. He's no longer just riding. Okay, let's talk about, since we're talking about head in the hole, let's talk about the Polish Wizard. Let me get on real quick, and I'll have you do it. Okay, the Polish Wizard is basically swinging under, kind of like we did here, but it's from the top. I'm from the top position. Now again, if he's on the bottom, we've been kind of, as we start out with, if you're the bottom grappler, but we're jumping around quite a bit, so I guess we're just going to do that. What I want to do, I want to catch this, so let's turn around the side by side. There you go. So he's here like this, and what I want to do is I want to, at this angle again, here, okay, all right, and now what's going to happen, I'm going to put my head through here and roll him, but to start, I've got to start some things first. From this side, I'm going to reach over and grab his jacket, and from this side, if I were doing this side, I would reach over here and grab just like this. See that? So I've controlled that jacket really well. That's what I'm going to do over here with this right hand. Okay? I've trapped the shoulder. So here it is. I just trapped the shoulder and I've got it. Okay? Now with this other hand, palm up, I'm going to swing through the back of my hand on the back of his head. Just like this. You see that hole I'm creating? I'm going to whip through that and roll him over. I'm going to have Derrick do this now. And because I think it works a lot better with two men the same size. See that? Now watch it. Now he whips him over. He doesn't let go of anything, and he finishes in a very nice, strong position. Okay? Do it again, big guy. Now, doing it, I'm a whole lot bigger than Mike. I think this shows it a lot better if a man his own size does. That's why I'm having Derrick do all this. So how he, back of the hand on the back of the head. Now look at that hole he's created. Now he's going to whip through. He's not letting go of anything. He's keeping control of that jacket, and he whips him all the way over. He comes to the top, and in control position. He's stuck him.
Have him turn the other way so we can see him.
All right, let's turn around. Let's do it from the other direction. So, so now you can see the right hand. See how it controls there? See the whip? He's going to whip him over. That's a Polish Wizard.
Do it one more time.
I have no idea what it's called in Japanese, but I first learned it, I think, in Japan. We adapted it to make it work for us.
Can you do it one more time, Derrick?
Let's do the hip wheel breakdown. They're both facing each other. Mike, why don't you, because he's been beating you up, why don't you grab him? You're both on your knees. This is very basic, but it works. Just like you're grabbing each other in a judo grip, kumikata, and Mike's just going to come right hand around the neck. He's going to roll him right over. Sink it in. Oh yeah, that's real basic. That's too easy. No, it's not. It works. It is. We don't want to say it's too easy, it's just too effective. And more people use this than are willing to admit. It's one of those moves that's so old-fashioned, it's cool. So don't forget to practice it. And you can do it without a gi or a gi. It works better with a gi because you got a lot of handles. One more time, you're facing each other, you just grab the man, head and arm, right into a case of katana. Okay. Do a front two leg breakdown, front two leg dump, and we'll call it on that. These guys are really good at that. So Derrick's again on the bottom, and Mike's dominating him, okay? What we're going to do is a front two leg breakdown. So he's going to get his head to the outside, okay? He's going to grab double leg, and he's just going to keep turning around and just break him down. Bam, there you go. You do the exact same thing, come from the other side, Derrick. No, Mike, stay the same way you were. There you go. So he's on the bottom, head out, grab double legs deep. Don't hook your hands together, grab double legs deep. Come to the side, just snatch him, and put him right down. You're in a nice side control, okay?
Like the
Now,
two-leg scoop.
Sean Watson used this in our club quite a bit. Derrick's used this quite a bit. It's just called, actually we never had a name for it until Derrick called it a dump, and I think it's a good name for it. Basically what's going to happen, instead of getting your head to the outside, your head's going to be kind of on the inside. So can you do it towards Sandy with the right? Okay. So he's down. Now watch. He's going to turn his body to his left. And see how his head's there? Now look at where his head is. His head's still kind of in there. Fact is, if you get your head out a little further, see if you can get sideways, okay? And he's just going to snatch him and take him down this way. It's an odd side. It's a very odd situation, okay? Now, as a variation, the way Watson used to, let me use you for a second because we've got the different colored geese. Sean Watson used to do it this way. When he was down, he would get his head to the outside, but he'd come sideways like this, and he just blocked this. He'd hit hook here and this. Derrick tends to grab a double, which works great too. But Sean would often just block this. Just you do a knee block with us, a hand block on the knee, and just catch him down like that. It's a quick dump. Can you demo one more time to show that way you do it? So you just get to the side and dump him, bam, like that. It's an odd side breakdown. Normally we get our head out to that side. That's the side we go to. In this case, the head to the right. For me, is the side I want to dump them to. One more time on the dump, it's a good move. Very unusual breakdown. Bam, there you go. Okay. So I don't know how many we covered, but we didn't cover all from the bottom. We got most of them from the bottom. We did a nice variety of breakdowns. We'll be doing some more videos on guard passes, sweeps, that type of thing. But these are all active, good grappling. If I had a choice in Newaza in fighting, I would rather be the top fighter. I'd rather be the guy on top because I have more control, basically. I have a better field of vision. My partner's not holding me down. A lot of people like to fight out of the guard or off their buttocks or be in the bottom position as a grappler, like in a bottom right position like in wrestling. I'd rather be the top grappler. That way I can have more control. So if I am on the bottom, I'm going to do what I can to get to the top to get some good solid control and then break him down. So again, this is part 2 of our breakdown series, and we're going to do some more on Newaza and like I said on other things too. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot.